Hi guys, this is the episode number 12 and book review number 3. Today we are going to talk about the book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, about David Goggins. तो सबसे पहले I'll read the intro which is given in the book just to get you a little familiarized. For David Goggins, childhood was a nightmare. Poverty, prejudice, and physical abuse colored his days and haunted his nights. But through self discipline, mental toughness, and hard work, Goggins transformed himself from depressed, overweight young man with no future into a US Armed Force icon and one of the world's top endurance athletes. The only man in history to complete elite training as a Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, and Air Force Tactical Air Controller. He went on to set various records in numerous endurance events, inspiring various magazines to name him the fittest man in America. In Can't Hurt Me, he shares his astonishing life story and reveals that most of us tap into only 40% of our capabilities. Goggins calls this the 40% rule, and his story illuminates a path that anyone can follow to push past pain, demolish fear, and reach their full potential. Yeah, this was the introduction given in the book. Why I selected this book was I have 5 mentors basically, the celebrities I look up to, and one of those is David Goggins. 5 of them basically are Kobe Bryant, David Goggins, Kunal Shah, The Rock, and Kevin Hart. I've been reading a lot of books these days, so I will be coming up with book reviews very fast. David Goggins. I'll just tell his life story in a very short, brief, and then I'll talk about some of his great points. And first of all, guys, the way he speaks, he curses a lot. He is a very hardcore dude. So I recommend you, after this podcast, listen to the entire thing and hear to his interviews that he has given, especially the 2 he has given to Joe Rogan. Starting off, Joe Rogan is a 42-year-old man right now, and childhood was basically a nightmare. His dad, that was the nightmare part of him. So basically his dad used to beat hell out of his wife, which is David Goggins' mother, and that used to happen in front of David Goggins and when he was 3 to 5 years old. So trauma got in his mind at a very young age. There was this one incident where his dad was dragging his mom down the stairs with her hair, like dragging on the floor, and basically 5-year-old David Goggins jumped onto his dad's back to attack him, but that was no good. His dad even pointed a gun at his face. 5-year-old baby David Goggins. But once he got such a severe punishment, and by punishment I mean a real whacking by his dad, that his ear got bleeding, his mom and him decided to just run out of there. They ended up somewhere where his mom had to do 3 jobs to sustain themselves, and David Goggins, because he wasn't doing the school properly, he developed trauma, depression. He couldn't read and write. He felt such shame that he couldn't write and read, and basically till 5th, 6th standard he couldn't even read a sentence properly. So what he did was he cheated the entire school to pass the exams, and that's how he got. And he was such an attention seeker over there in his school, because this personal trauma has a toll on your confidence, and the only way he thought he'll gain confidence is to just be in sort of a friend circle, right? And to force that to happen, he used to do very wacky shit, like he used to wear jeans on reverse, ulta, and he used to shave the top of his head but keeping hair on the side. He used to come to the school with a toothbrush but the reverse part in his mouth, and all this other kind of stuff. just to get attention and just to get little laughs, which he now realizes कि it came out of insecurity and it came out of not confident in himself. Then he went on to gain a lot of weight. His highest was 297 pounds. He worked for Ecolabs where he just had to spray for cockroaches, and he made like $1,000 a month. But what he really wanted to do was he wanted to get in the army. He once, when he came back from his Ecolabs job, he had this big box of donuts for dinner and a big milkshake, and he just turned on the TV and there was a show on Discovery. I forgot the name of the show, but it was about army men in US, how they train and all. So that really got his attention. He really thought that is what I should do. So the next thing he does, he calls all the guys he need to call to get into the army, but every single one of them just asked for his weight, height, and when they got to his weight, phone would just hung up. So there was this one guy who told him, if you can lose the weight like at least 100 pounds in the next 2 to 3 months, then we can do something about you. And he was like, get the hell out of here, dude. How will I lose 100 pounds of my weight in 3 months? That's ridiculous. So after hearing this, he thought, let's go for a run, right? He used to work out, but he was still a fat 297. He just used to do deadlifts and stuff, and he was very fat. Then he went out for a run that day, and he thought he'll run 4 miles, and that was his goal for the day. But he ended up doing like a quarter a mile before he just walked to his house, and he came to his house and he was crying, and he went back to his chocolate milkshake. Yeah, and when he went to his bathroom, he looked in the mirror, which he now calls the accountability mirror, which I'll talk about later. So he just looked in the mirror and just said honest, raw stuff to him, like, you are fat, you are lazy, look what you've done, you're poor, you can't read, you can't write. That's the stuff he said, but that gave him the motivation. He wanted to do more now. So he started working out like crazy from the other day. Like, he used to run, he used to skip, he used to go to the pool too, because he had a big fear for the water too. So he went to the pool. He used to do all the kind of stuff because he was very heavy, he couldn't run. So he had to cycle a lot. He somehow got into a very lean shape in the next 2 to 3 months. And he reported at the door, and the guys were shocked that he lost such weight. He got admitted, but he got admitted into the reserves, and he had to take a test. I forgot what the name of the test was, but he had to take a test. He gave the test and he failed in some of the subject because he couldn't even write. Why is that? Because through entire school he used to cheat, but now he can't cheat because the guys next to him have a different code of the paper, so he can't cheat. So he failed, and you basically need a 50 out of 99 total marks to get in. He scored like a 20. I don't remember what his score was, but it was very low. And he gave the paper again. He scored a 19, even worse. So he was like, I can work out, but I have to get my brain together, right? I have to clear the test. Back then, even he contacted his mom. His mom used to do 3 jobs, as I said, to continue her own education and sustain David Goggins' lifestyle too. He basically requested his mom to get him tutors. What she could afford was like 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week at max for the next 4 to 6 months. But he had a problem. He couldn't learn. He had a disorder, like a real disorder of learning, which he could have used to just say, I'm a special child, but he didn't, because when he looked into the mirror, he called himself lazy. He knew he didn't clear the test because he didn't even try to study. So this time, when the tutor got around, he just studied like crazy because he wasn't a smart child. So he had to mug up the entire thing again and again and again and again. All the things you know about David Goggins, or you will know about David Goggins, is all physical. But that's not true. He says even when he works out, it's for the mental. What he did amazing, and in the next test, he got 50 out of 99 and he cleared it. But what happened was, he gained a lot of weight because he was in the reserves. He gained a lot of weight back to 250 plus, and he was out of shape. There was this incident where he wanted to do a marathon out of nowhere. Okay, he's 250 plus and he can't run. And he wanted to do a marathon because if he wins the money, cash prize, that'll go to the families of victims of some event. So he wanted to support that cause and he wanted to do a marathon. But it's easier said than done. He just said it, but he has never done a marathon. He doesn't run. Even when he works out, he doesn't run. There's no cardio. So he goes and he started to run. He just somehow got to the mile number 81. And that's where it hit him. He got numerous fractures in his leg. What do you call it? Hairline fractures. Stress fractures. His shin muscles were rupturing down. He was peeing blood. He was feeling very dizzy. He couldn't walk. And he just lay down on a chair. And he saw like 3 of everyone. So he couldn't walk. So basically, then his ex-wife told him that Goggins, just leave it. You can't do it. You are way too behind and this is not gonna work out. Yeah, and even then he knew like his wife is making sense. But he got up, started slowly just walking. You can say even like crawling. He started slowly walking and somehow he got the momentum together. And during the run, he realized how much we as human beings leave on the table. I mean, it was very much possible that he could have quit in 81 miles and nobody would have complained. But when he continued, he knew for a fact now that how many things that he could have accomplished just if he had pushed himself beyond the pain. So he completed his 101 miles, got the cash prize, and since then he has been a savage. He even held a former world record for most pull-ups done in a day, which was 4030. I mean 4030 pull-ups in a day. And this books really explains in detail how his mind was working throughout. And coming from that poor and depressed childhood, he is now the fittest man in America. That's strongest man in the world. Many people call him that. So when we complete the entire book, right, there are few takeaways we can take. Yeah. First point, Goggins had this mindset. He'll run 20 miles each day. But if it's raining or it's snowing, he'll run 40 miles. He will just double his workout if the things were of adversity. If it's raining or snowing, heck, I won't go even to work out. I'll just stay at home, watch some Netflix, right? But he says, no, that's not how it works. And he likes the friends which call out on shit. Like, friends, bro, I don't want to work out today. The friend is like, okay, we'll grab a pizza, we'll watch the match on the TV. But a real friend would say, cut the crap, bro. Just come out and work out. So that's the kind of mentality David Goggins has. And second point, he talks about the governor in the car. See, the car wants to go at 120 kilometers per hour. It wants to run. But there's a governor in the car which doesn't allow you to do that. So, applying this metaphor to our life, we are the car. Our body wants to go, but our mind is the governor. Third point, the mind, which is related to the second point, the mind has the tactical advantage over you. He knows your weaknesses, your strengths, where you'll fall short. That's why it's very hard to wake up at 5, even when you have decided to wake up at 5 few days back. because your mind has an advantage over you. It will convince you that waking up at 5 is not good. It will convince you at that point. Coming down to the 4th point, which is 40% rule. This is by far my favorite rule of David Goggins. So basically what it says is, most of us quit at 40% of our capabilities. Like when you are running, okay, and there's a voice in your head, no, stop, this is it. That is when you have reached 40% of your capabilities. Am I saying capabilities right? Capabilities, yeah. So you are just at 40%, and there's 60% you are still on the table, that you just have to fight against the mind. The mind will always say, stop, just, we are supposed to go left, you are going right. This is not how it's supposed to happen. 5th point, raw talks. The one thing about David Goggins that you'll find by listening to him on his interviews is that he talks really raw. He says, talk raw to yourself. If people are calling you fat, they might be bullying you, but you might be fat. And just look in the mirror. There's an accountability mirror that he calls, where you just stand in front of the mirror and be very honest with yourself. What do you see in the mirror? Is it a person with confidence? Is it a person with insecurity? Is it a person who's lean? Is it a person who should be lean? Is it a person who is very smart, or is it a person who is very dumb? You have to tell yourself what you really are. That is the first step of getting anywhere in life, because most of us are in denial. नहीं, like, ना मार्क्स इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि पेपर टफ था. No, even on the tough paper there are people who are scoring full out of full, right? So that might indicate that you are dishonest with yourself and you have not been working hard properly. Yes guys, this was it for the book, and just let me know if you're watching this on YouTube. Just leave down a comment, and I'll be linking down this book if you want to buy. This is a fantastic book, and you should give it a read. And heck, even if you want to gift someone something, this is the perfect gift you can give them. With that being said, I'll take your leave. Bye guys, thank you.